Finally, she says, I finally got around to making this journal that I've been speaking about for the last few videos. This is my journal of lost dreams and desires, and now I've made the journal, what I need to do is fill it, because so far I haven't put anything inside it because I wanted to make the journal first, but I had a problem deciding what type of journal I wanted to make. Anyway, I saw a demonstration on a craft channel on the television, and a lady on there was making journals, but they was probably, well, half or even a quarter of the size of this one. But I thought, well, I'm going to have a go and see how I get on anyway. So in my last video, I showed you how I took the lined pages out of a hardback notebook. And what I've done is I've covered, separately I covered the front and the back covers with wrapping paper. And then I cut the wrapping paper just slightly bigger than this hardboard. And then I cut the corners off and folded them in so I had a nice edge there. And I used it's all-purpose white glue, and it says on it it's versatile general purpose adhesive, suitable for sticking paper, card, wood, fabric, ideal for scrapbooks, card making, modelling and school projects. So I used this because I didn't have any book binding glue, which is what I would have preferred, but it's done a job anyway, so quite pleased with that. Anyway, the sort of book I've made is called pamphlet stitch here. And these that go inside here, you can see 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. That's what are called signatures. So this book has got 3 signatures sewn into it. I think the signatures are, let me count the pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the signatures are 8 pages, like with double sides. And they're stitched in with bookbinding thread, but I think for this purpose you could probably use any kind of thread you wanted to, but make sure it's waxed. So this is just a beeswax block. You don't have to do this, but if you do, it just helps it helps threading, and also at the end when you tie in the knot. I also used bookbinding needles, or a bookbinding needle with quite a small hole there. And to make the pages nice and crisp for folding, I used a bone folder, but you can use any object really just to flatten down. And on cue, the cat is at the window. Let's have a look. Gizmo, let's let him in. Come on then. You're going to sit there all day, or are you coming in? Go on then. Right, let's see if we can get on again. Every time I try to do these videos, there's always some type of an interruption. Anyway, let's get back to this. Yeah, so there's 3 signatures sewn into this book. Here, I decided to use fabric. So this fabric is glued on the back of the book, and then a different fabric glued on to the inside, I didn't do a good job here. I rushed it, but maybe I could cover this over with, I don't know, some binding or something. But I just wanted to get on. I didn't want any more things to hold me up. But yeah, that's not a great finish. So next time, if I make these again, I'll take much more care over it. This is just some chipboard paper that I had to cover there. And I suppose I could have actually put that over that. I could have put that fabric on first and then put the chipboard over, and it would have covered up that raw edge. But these are things that you learn on along the way. You don't know, before you start, you don't know what things you're going to come up against. And this here shows you how the signature is tied off. I won't demonstrate how to do that because there are lots of on YouTube, there are a lot of videos that show you how to do bookbinding. There's all different courses you can go on. And as I say, I'm not an expert. I just sort of done this just by trial and error, really. But as I say, this is called pamphlet stitch. Pamphlet stitch with 3 signatures. And each of these lines here of thread corresponds to a signature that is sewn into the book. What else do I need to share or show? I think I will just show you that in the past I made these little tiny journals, and these were made by melting beeswax and dipping this textured paper into it, and it's made a sort of leather texture. Then I just stitched on a piece there. And these papers, they was either coffee stained or tea stained. I don't remember now. But yeah, that was just a very simple. This has just got 1 signature in the book, as you can see. So that was a very simple little book to make, as was this one. But I think this one's got 3 signatures, like the big one I've shown you. A lot of it's done by eye, no measuring or anything like that. But, you know, if you want to be more accurate, then make sure to measure. And then this is another little one that's just hasn't got any pages yet. Yeah, so sometimes it takes a lot of practice before we get where we want to be. There's a lot of stages in between. And I forgot that I actually made these. Some years ago now, I forgot that I made them, these little books. But anyway, practice makes perfect, and the more we do it, the better we get. Also with this one, the paper here, this beautiful Venice paper, had creases on it where it had been folded up. So I thought, oh, I'll iron it. And the trouble is, when I ironed it, I actually, excuse me, ironed more creases into it. So what I've done is, when I've glued the paper on, you could still see the lines on the paper, and I wasn't happy because it stood out too much. So I've got this very fine netting or mesh, and when I've put these chipboard letters on, I've glued them over the mesh to hold the mesh down, so you don't see the faults in the paper anymore. And it's gave it more of a sense of mystery, like a veil over the mystery. But on the back, it's not such a mystery because you can still see these lines. But I'm not too worried about that at the moment. The main thing is, sorry, I keep knocking the camera. The main thing is I've now got a book to put my artwork in when I start doing it. And the first thing I've done is, I'm going to write an explanation in here what the book's about. But then on this page here, I'm going to stick this in here, and I'm going to stick that up there, and I'm going to stick that there, and I'm probably going to draw some more flowers here with black ink, and let the white paper shine through. And this page is, I wanted a garden full of white flowers that would glow by the light of the full moon. And that's it, my journal of lost dreams and desires to be filled.